Hi all, welcome back to more Unconditional Surrender. This is the Mediterranean scenario 1940 to 1942. This is my part 5. And hopefully a part that's got a bit of something happening. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of losing my way there a little bit, and I don't want to be like that. I want to try and persevere. I want to try and keep going. And this is maybe just a tough bit that I'm at just now. I need to get through this. I need to be able to just do things and not worry about them being daft decisions. So if I'm going to move on, you're going to have to see some silly moves probably and silly things happening. Again, just before hitting record there, I'm realising again, I'm sort of trying to remind myself that this scenario is really all about supply, I think. And the Italians are now going to struggle to get any supply. I wish there was another playthrough out there on this, or I wish I'd been able to spend more time looking at Dren 608, is it? His videos. Don't think he covers a scenario as such, but he does the whole shebang. And obviously the med comes into it, so I wish I'd maybe studied more into that. Also, the video that Sal done with the guy, I think it was probably a 2-hour video. It does take a while to go through these things and explain it, and I think they only got through the one turn. So it's not just me that takes takes a bit of time to get through these things. But he was clearly explaining a lot of things as well, and suggesting things and whatever. But yeah, I wish I'd been able to see a bit more of that, just to see it. But I think what's going to happen is the Italians are going to struggle for supply. The British are going to struggle to some extent as well. Okay, let's try and push on. Now, okay, there is a couple of things to mention. I'm not going to go over, because I think there was another few comments. Quickly, ones that I remember was Sal mentioned, and I didn't realise this. When I traced out of Alexandria, I started going through the Med. And so then I'm susceptible to interception from both the Italian fleets. Now, if I go out of Alexandria and into Sea Zone 26, I can't be touched. This one can't reach me, because it goes 1, 2. So all I needed to do was go out of Alexandria into 26 and then back through the Suez... Sorry, I'm not showing you. Then back through the Suez Canal and then away around the back there. So I was like, that was a bit of a dull moment. Yeah. So, that's clearly the safer way to do it. And in actual fact, does that not sort of mean that this would be better placed in Tobruk? I don't know, then you're bringing... Well, no, because where they are just now, if they want to trace supply across to Italy, Force H can intercept, and the Med Fleet 1, 2 can intercept. If they were to go into Tobruk and then want to try and trace supply, they need to trace again across to Italy, or Sicily, but, Italy avoids... The mainland of Italy, the ports in Italy avoid going into Sea Zone 22, whether that's relevant or not, maybe not. So if they were there, they would then have to go into Sea Zone 25, which Force H1 would not be able to intercept, but they would. But then they'd still have to go into Sea Zone 24, and that's when Force H could intercept, and that could as well. And the thing is, if it gets interdicted tracing supply, the supply gets fails. If I was just rebasing or transporting, I would be able to select the nearest port if it failed. But that's not the main issue. The main issue is getting the supply across there, I think. But yeah, both of them can still intercept in there. Though the one thing, if I go through there, I'm going to have one extra interception attempt probably, because I'm having to move into Sea Zone 25 first, get an attempt from them, then into there, get an attempt from them again, get an attempt from Force H. So there's that, I suppose. So why was I thinking Tobruk? What was the reason for me thinking that? Sorry, I've lost my That can't. What? Why was that? Why did I start thinking Tobruk was a better place for them to be? Come on, Grant. Right, sorry, I got dragged away there a bit. Right, and before I hit record there again, I thought, right, why was I wanting to try and get to Tobruk again? And I thought, I had to think back to what I was talking about first. And it was this whole trace into 26. So yeah, for these guys to trace through the Suez, they need to come into 26. And if we were in Tobruk, or the Italians were in Tobruk, they'd have a chance to intercept that, I see. And then also the fact that C-Zone 25 is out the range is 24 for Force H. Yeah, I really don't know if that helps at all. Well, it does seem that these can just trace all their supply through the Suez though, Grant. Yeah, I mean, we've got two fleets and two convoys here. Problem is, if I go and try and rebase that now to Tobruk, I'm moving into C-Zone 24 and Force H is going to intercept that. Because, I mean, I've also talked about the possibility of getting to Rhodes to be able to maybe come across here and amphibiouusly invade Port Said, maybe. I don't know how daft an idea that is. I've decided I'm not going to try and do that just now anyway. But I think Force H has to try and intercept if this tries to move out into C-Zone 24. And probably going to succeed. Remember, he gets a +4, +2 for British naval, +2 for being a carrier. And this fleet's got 2 sorties on it. So, yeah. Okay, I think I'll just leave these things just now. Right, but that was me talking about the blunder, not realising I can do that. Yeah, maybe I should make the effort, because then they're just going to easily be able to trace supply, aren't they? I mean, they're going to use up sorties doing it all, but they're going to use up sorties anyway. There's no challenge to them there. If I can't intercept in C-Zone 26, then all of the stuff there can be supplied through the Suez Canal. And the only other one that they need to bother about is Force H, which basically needs to go back through. It needs to run back through the Med. So I think I possibly should be trying to move one of these to Tobruk. Okay. Right, and one other thing was, oh yeah, Sal confirmed that an air unit on the coast and a coastal hex can intercept into that sea zone. So that was good. I didn't think that was, I probably should have went and looked at that. I thought it maybe had to be in a port, but no, as long as it's on a coastal hex, a beach hex, coastal hex, whatever they're classified as in this game. At least I'm pretty sure that was what he said there. Yeah. And one other big thing I can remember is he's got the new rules out, and they are up there in the files section. It was on my to-do list for today. I've not done it yet, because it's going to take a bit of time to print it all out. I'm definitely going to print the rulebook out. Whether I'll print the playbook out, I might not, because I can always glance at the scenario I'm doing. You know, I might eventually get around to it, but I can always glance at the scenario I'm doing and just double check the stuff highlighted in blue to see what's been changed. But as for the rulebook, I don't want to keep turning it to different sections in the rulebook and have that sort of unsurety if there's anything being errated there. So I'd like to get that printed out. So hopefully I'll get it done today, but we shall see. Right, there might have been another couple of things brought up, but I'm just going to leave it at that for now, rather than fill up another video full of nothing. Well, it's not nothing, but yeah, you know what I mean. No gameplay. Right, access operations phase. That's where we're at. So what I'm going to do I'm gonna, yeah, and like I say, you might well be seeing some terrible moves here and horrible decisions, but I need to just do things and to get the game moving, or I'm just going to stall and freeze and probably then take it down and say, look, I can't do it again, but I'm just determined to. I want to be able to do it, and I've just bought another game, similar type of game, European Theatre, that Downfall. Just bought that to be able to try that, and that's probably worse, because although it's a 2-player game, you sort of play 4 different factions. Well, you play 2 different factions each, and you've got cards for both of them. So I'm probably not quite sure that was a great choice. I guess it was just Mr. Butterfield's name's attached to the design, and mainly designed by Chad Jensen, and then he came along and finished it off when unfortunately Chad Jensen passed away. But you know, any stuff that he's involved in, I've always enjoyed. So anyway, right, back to this. Right, well, we're gonna try and have a go at Alexandria, I think. Yeah. And what I think I'll do is I think I will airstrike their air. Because why not? I mean, yes, they get a +1 for their air, I think. Right, my dice tray is over the table. And just before I do this, I'm clearly doing something that the designer probably doesn't recommend, because he mentioned it in a comment as well, that the fact that the best thing against Force H is the Italian air, because they get an extra they get a +1, don't they? Air unit versus naval unit, they get a +1. I mean, it's not huge against them, but the fact that we're not needing to use the air to trace or supply, although I dare say, because yeah, I didn't realise you could use. I think when he mentioned about the air units also escorting, can air units escort a supply trace then? Yeah, page 18, again in my rulebook, just the old rulebook. 6.2.4, air escort. A phasing fighter unit can activate to escort a naval unit as it performs an amphibious invasion, naval rebase, naval transport, or a supply line trace in a sea zone. A non-phasing fighter unit can activate to escort a naval unit if it is attacked by an airstrike. Okay, I never thought about airstriking naval units as well. It was attacked by an airstrike or carrier strike. Ooh, carrier strike. Is that something that Force H can do? A carrier strike? Okay, Grant, you sound like you've not played the game at all. Right, give me a sec. Right, well, yeah, I mean, clearly an airstrike can be on a air or naval unit within a 7 hex range. Carrier strike, it says that's on page 25. Just going to have a glance at that. Carrier strike. Carrier unit can activate to attack an enemy air or naval unit in a port or coastal hex that is in a sea zone containing a friendly surprise attack marker. Oh. Well, something to remember, because the British do have a surprise attack marker. Carrier unit can activate to attack an enemy air or naval unit in a port or coastal hex that is in a sea zone containing a friendly surprise attack marker. Carrier strike's purpose is to inflict sorties on an enemy unit. Phasing faction declares the unit to be attacked and traces a naval movement path of any length from its carrier unit to the defender. There's no physical movement. To resolve the carrier strike, conduct an air-naval combat. And it's, right, but its activation would end, but then it'd be able to do it again and again, wouldn't it, if it wanted to. So that's something Force H could do. It could pile on. Well, we need that surprise attack marker, so let's not jump into that just yet, Grant. So yeah, the air unit could be, again, it would all need to be in the same hex, wouldn't it? It would all need to be in the same port. See, now I'm starting to doubt why I should be doing this, and that I should be using this for, because even if this was, let's just say we had this into Brook as well, and we managed to get that into Brook, and then we could trace across the sea, and it would give us a better chance at succeeding our supply trace, I think. Oh, you know what? Let's just go with what I've started doing. I've come down here to do that, so let's just see my mistakes being made. Right? Okay. I wonder if I could put. Yeah, because there's actually nothing doing there. What I'm going to do here to help myself out a little bit is, since in particular we moved Force H away as well, I'm just going to move Gibraltar's fort and its garrison. You know what? I'll just chuck it in Plymouth for now, because that's a hex that's sort of in play. It's just I can bring either the rulebook or the chart in there, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. Doesn't quite squeeze fully on. Well, it does. That'll push. Yeah, I'll need to be careful though. Right. Okay. So I'm going to use the Italian air unit to airstrike the British air unit here, just to try and knock these two sorties out the way, so that then the Italian 10th can move in here, and we can have an attack on that, and hopefully have a sortie or two left. Well, at least if we get, well, I don't know how many attacks, we maybe get 2 attacks. So what are we doing? Air naval combat. Yeah, so we're doing an airstrike. So modifiers are, though, it's a UK air unit, so it's a +1. So they're getting a +1, and the Italian air unit doesn't get anything. None of the other ones apply. No, sorry, my bad. He's got 4 sorties. And the Italian have none. So yeah, that should balance it out better. In fact, a bit of luck, we might even get a 2 hit on him, and then that's only 1 sortie we're going to incur. No events to be used here. No. Okay, so it's a plus. Well, actually, no. +1 for the UK unit, -4 for the sortie. So he's sitting at a -3. Now we are. Sorry, I'm saying we. Being a traitor again. The Italians are the attacker. The British are the defender with a -3. Then the Italians have nothing. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so we're rolling. The grey dice is the attacker, and that is the Axis faction. So there we go. Ooh, right, I think that will incur 2 then. So a 4. Oh, mind you, it's the, again with the minuses. So it's a 4 against a 1 though. So it's going to be because 2 -3 can only go down to a 1. So it is a DR +2. So that is going to be, well, hang on. Just seeing what it is we're doing again. That was an air naval combat. You see, it was a diamond result. So no, it wasn't a diamond result. Sorry. A DR +2. So the DR side is attacker adds 1 sortie, defender adds sorties equal to the number. So the defender adds 2 sorties. And if the combat was an airstrike, the combat is over. That's it. And in fact, I won't be activating to do that again, because all we've done is we've added 2 sorties to the defender. So that's him now at 6. And cannot activate. And we get 1 sortie to the Italian there. So that worked well. So yeah, let's see. Right, okay, so now as the Italians, as the Axis, we're going to activate the 10th Infantry. That's going to cause 1 Italian production, taking them down to 12. I'll just mark that off there. So, I mean, what are we up against? We're up against, I can't remember the number. It's been a while since I've done that, so hang on. Is it -1 for the city, isn't it? We're going to get -1 for the river, or is it -2 for the city? No, hang on, what am I trying to... Yeah, DRMs. Must be -1 for the city. Attacking unit in a hex that contains a city, -1. Attacking across a river, -1. Okay. So they 2 -1s, and we're going to chuck an air support in, so that's going to balance that out. They are going to get a +1 for being British. We're getting nothing for being Italian. Now we both have access to a tanks event, so yeah, Grant having to make decisions for both parts of his mind again, which he doesn't like. Anyway, okay. So are we doing that? So we've activated that. So he's got 8 movement points. So, I mean, is it better there or on the road, or does it matter? Don't think it matters, does it? Oh, hold on. No, that's a river crossing there, and the road crosses into there as well. Yeah. No, I don't think it does matter. Maybe it does, but I can't see anything. So I'm going to move in there for 1. That's down to 9. So am I going to have 2 attacks? That would be 4 and 4. I think it's 5 because we're going across the river, isn't it? No, Grant, you don't go from 8 to 9 when you spend the point. You go from 8 to 7. So we're definitely not having 2 attacks, are we? Because it's definitely at least 4 to move into there. It's along the transport line, but it's into an enemy city, so that's 2. But we're also, although it's going across the transport line, also because it's an enemy city, we count the river as well. So that's going to be 3, and then it's attacking a unit in fair weather, so that's going to be 4. So this is going to be 4 points to make the attack. Right, let's just do it. Let's do it. So 4 to make the attack is down to 3, right? We're going to need a die roll, but who knows? You never know. We get a DR result. We're in Alexandria. Half of the victory conditions complete. Yeah, easy. But right. So commit. Right. Well, both have got the choice of tanks, like I say. The Italians are going to have air support. The British cannot do anything about that. They can't activate their air, so that's that. So, and then like I say, it's -1 for the city. The DRMs are -1 for the city. Hang on. Yeah, he's not isolated around, no. Yeah, -1 for the city, -1 for the river, but +2 for air support and fair weather. So that brings it back to a 0. And then for the British, they get +1 for being British. So that's what we're setting up before the option of the tanks. Yeah, so the British are setting at +1. So, yeah, it's horrible to decide. I think Sal had said his way of dealing with this was, if he had to, was flip the commit marker up in the air and see what it landed on, but it's one of the ones that I think, if the British are playing their tanks, the Italians are playing their tanks. But then, if the British are not playing the tanks, the Italians are playing their tanks. I think they both play them. Because it's important. Them sitting with only a +1, think about it. Okay, they've got a slight good start. But the Italians know they've got a tanks marker. If they go up to +3, you know, if they go up to +3 against 0, then they're unlikely to be able to get a result. If they roll a 6, if they roll a 1, it's a 4. That is the only... Oh, sorry, hang on. I'm forgetting their defending. So if they were at +3 and the Italians rolled a 6 and then the British rolled a 1, they would have to roll a 1 to get the DR result, to get the retreat. And that's the Italians rolling a 6 and them rolling a 1. So that's like the faraway outcome. So I think the Italians have got to realise that and play their tanks, knowing that the British are probably going to play their tanks. Yeah, so you know what? I'm just going to play tanks from both of them. Right? I think it's... Yeah, I mean, I know like we could flip up the markers there, but I think thinking about it, you know, if I was just the one player here, and I was the Italians, I would play it. I would play the tanks. And thinking about it from the British point of view, I would have to play it as well. I think so. I think they both play the tanks. Okay, so what that does is indeed give them +3. Well, I'll just need to go back to my old dice. So it's a +3 for the defending British. Because they had the +1 for being UK, but now they're getting +2 for our tanks in fair weather. And then the Italians are going to get +2. Well, it's +2 for tanks, +2 for air, and then -1 for the city, -1 for the river. So that takes them to a +2. So that's it. Let's do it. Right, and they're only going to get one shot at this. But there's a chance, you know, if it's a big... it needs to be a swingy die roll. Right, here we go. Ah, it is a swingy die roll. Oh dear. That could be horrible. That could be a loss. Okay, so 9 for the... I've just got this. It's just hanging on the edge of the map there. I think we can see that. Right, so 9 for the defending British and only 3 for the attacking Italians. It is indeed an AA result. Oh dear. Yeah, well, you've seen. I mean, they died the other way about. It's definitely a retreat, isn't it? But in fact, even with that swing, it might have been a DD, maybe. But okay, so an AA result is the first time I've had this, I think. Oh, maybe not actually. Now where's that again? Ground combat results here. So AA, there we go. Attacker attrition. If the primary attacker is reduced unit, eliminate it. Well, it's not. If the primary attacker is a full strength unit, reduce it. Combat is over and attacker's activation ends. Okay, well that's making that decision look really bad, isn't it? But if the dice had went the other way, it might have been. Right, I'm going to put my tanks markers back on the next turn track, which is September. We've got a pro-axis marker there. I don't know if it was pro-axis marker or the control markers I was meant to put up there, actually. I think it was the pro markers, wasn't it? So their activation ends, and they also are reduced. So that is terrible. Well, that's now making the British... Yeah, they're going to have a go now, aren't they? For sure. Yeah, and the fact they get the extra 2 movement for being mobile, then and this is getting does that get a -2 or do we get a +2 in attack? No, he gets a -2, doesn't he? Yes, indeed. Right, okay, so that was bad. Is there anything else then that the Italians can do after that? They maybe feel like, let's just not do that. Okay, so shall we try and move this to Tobruk then? Because I think now after that, in actual fact, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I don't want to move my air unit back now though, do I? Because I want air support for the attack that the British are going to give back, I think, to balance out that -2. Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer. The British are going to attack into that because they're still sitting in Alexandria anyway. So I'm not going to move the air unit. I think I'm going to try... I think I'm going to try and rebase one of the Italian naval, well, the fleet and convoys to Tobruk. Well, which one though, Grant? You know, the problem is you come into Season 24 and if they do interdict, you're back in Benghazi, aren't you? Or worse still, if you use this one, it's even worse because you're not even, you know, you've got to then go in there. So yeah, I really, if I'm going to do it, I really need to use this one, don't I? Right, let's just, while this is in my head, let's just do it. So we're going to activate the second convoy and escort it with the second fleet, and we're going to move into Season 24. That's all we need to say. We don't need to say where we're going on it like that, but we're going to wait and see if the British want to intercept. And the British say, yes, we do want to intercept that, because we don't know what you're up to, and we know you've got an amphibious invasion possibility, so let's stop some of that shenanigans. So they're going to have a air naval combat, but yeah, and this is where it all the air unit can't be involved. That's fine. So you've got a UK naval unit +2, and then you've got a carrier unit in fair weather +2. This is them attacking the fleet, remember. Although there's a convoy with it, the first step of this is the actual fleet. It's the warship to warship fight. So, and then if they get through, if they don't get or if they interdict, then they still have to do the convoy, don't they? Yeah, before they can stop it. Right. So they're getting a +4 and we're getting a -2. Oh, Grant, that's why I wanted to move the other fleet, because it's no sorties on it. +4 to a -2, is that a waste of time? Surely it is. They're attacking us. +4 to a -2. Come on, Grant, that's... Well, it's going to put a sortie on Force H. And this is what you should be doing. Just... Problem is, it's going to... Well, why don't you use the first fleet then? It might give you a chance. Then it's going to be able to intercept in Season 24 as well, and then... But then you're not going to succeed with this one. Whereas you might have a chance with the other one. Maybe I shouldn't even be bothered doing this. But it's to try and stop the British from tracing all that supply through the Suez Canal. It is a way of maybe able to interfere with that. We should have came down to Tobruk to start with, shouldn't we? Is that not what they done in that playthrough, actually? That's what the guy done, I think. He didn't come to Benghazi, I think he went to Tobruk. Which would have meant crossing into this other sea zone, but it would have meant landing in there and then being able to interfere with the British. We're not able to do it here. Yeah, he's more than likely going to end up with 2 sorties by the time he gets into Season 24. Well, yeah, no, because then that means he's got stopped. Right, hold on. Yeah, just looking at the +4 to the -2. We would need to get a 6 and then get a 1. And then it would be a diamond result, which is the only result that works for us. So the die roll that just came up, but the other way around in the Axis favour. Whereas if I was to move this one, we get a +4 against a 0, then clearly that's much better. But then I've got 2 C zones to try and get through, and I'm going to end up in this. Oh no! If we succeed, you don't get the sortie yet, Grant. No, you get the sortie at the end. Okay, change of plan then. Let's attempt to move this fleet and convoy. Unfortunately, this convoy's got 3 sorties on it, whereas that one didn't. But it's more important about the fleet, I think. So we're going to attempt to move that into C Zone 22. The British are still going to do their thing, right? So they're going to get a +4. They're the attacker. They're going to intercept. We get nothing. The Italians get nothing. Yeah, so we need a good roll, don't we? +4 against 0, yeah. So this is against the first fleet, right? Okay. So remember, it's the blue dice that are the attackers this time. Maybe. Actually, an 8 to a 6, did that not come up recently? And an 8 to a 6 worked into a diamond. 8 to a 6, it is indeed a diamond, look at that. Okay, I'm sounding all like Italian now, am I not? No, it was a close result, wasn't it? You're a traitor, Grant, you're a traitor. Okay, so that was a diamond result. So we come across here and you can see a diamond. Attacker and defender each had 1 sortie. Well, okay, so we do get the sortie. Why was I thinking we wouldn't get the sortie? Yeah, you do, Grant. You do. Okay. However, we're just rebasing. Well, actually, if the combat was against a unit providing escorts, you escort below. And the escort says if it's a diamond, the escort is successful, intercepting units activation ends. Okay, so we each incur a sortie. Force H gets a sortie. And the first fleet gets a sortie. And now we are successfully in C Zone 22. So can I move these out here then? Oh, no, he doesn't incur a sortie yet. He's not been involved in any combat yet. He will gather one at the end, or if he is involved in combat. Right, so now we're in C Zone 22. We're now going to well, actually, yeah, you can. I could have moved them out there. We're now going to move to C Zone 24. Right, and then Force H are going to intervene again, or intercept with the hope of interdicting. So this time our fleet have -1. Oh yeah, but Force H have a -1 as well, Grant, because they've incurred a sortie. So they get +2 from British, +2 for carrier, -1 for the sortie. And the Italians get a -1 for having a sortie. So I think that means the results are still the same, doesn't it? I think so. Right, so we roll again. Oh no, that's good. I was thinking, oh no, that's bad. Well, it's good for the Italians. So 3 + 2 is 5. 6 - 1 is 5. Wow, I've done it again. So another diamond result. So another sortie each, and the interdiction failed. Okay, so 2 sorties now on Force H. Yeah, it just shows you. I mean, still the dice can sometimes help. So, well, that's good. That means we're going to succeed now, isn't it? Because now we're going to continue into C zone. And now, hold on. Oh, yeah, they can. Oh, there's going to be a problem if they stop us, because where do I go? Because I can't go here. You know where I'm going to have to go is Brindisi or Taranto, I think. Because this is occupied. Benghazi's got naval units in it. Yeah, I've just realised that the Med Fleet can intercept as well, can it? So the Force H have attempted an interception. Well, they've attempted to interdict in 24 and failed. Med Fleet now can, because they can go 1-2 C zones, so they're going to do that. They might as well try and stop it as well. Now they're not going to get that extra +2. They're not a carrier, and they are on 1-1 sortie. So we're going to have +2 for British. Yeah, so the Italians are going to need another roll. +2 for British, -1 for the sortie. So they're on a +1. And the Italians are on a -2 this time. For the 2 sorties. Right, okay. And blue dice is the attacker again. Well, I think that's bad. Yeah, that's bad for the Italians. So that's a 6 to a 5 - 2 is 3, and it is indeed a DR +2. Yeah, and then the escort fails. Damn it. So it's a DR +2. I thought we were still getting away with that, maybe. So DR, attacker adds 1 sortie, defender adds 2. So this is up to, oh no, it's up to 2. Yeah. So he adds 2 up to 4. Oh. Right, hang on, let me sort that mess. That's him up to 4, and then this takes the sortie up to 2. And then this escort has failed, which now means that they may attempt to interdict the actual convoy. Is that right? Even when we're just doing a naval rebase then. Let's see the rule book here. This isn't a supply or anything like that, but I think that's right. Naval rebase, page 23. Naval rebase. The phasing naval unit can be activated to move. This move can be intercepted when the movement is done, or if it was successfully interdicted, the unit's activation ends. Right, hang on here though. So I don't think this does actually then go through the convoy, does it? Well, hang on. Naval escort. Let's read that, because although I'm saying we're doing a naval rebase, we are doing a naval escort. A phasing warship unit can activate to escort a convoy unit as it performs an amphibious invasion, naval rebase, naval transport, or supply line trace in a sea zone. Okay, that's what we're doing. A non-phasing warship, yeah, let's not bother with that. The owning faction activates a warship to escort a convoy unit when the convoy unit is initially activated to perform an action, or when it is attacked by an airstrike or carrier strike. If an air unit is also eligible to provide escort, the faction must state this type. Right. Example, right, I'm not going to read, it's just a short example. To provide escort, the warship must be stacked with the convoy at the time the convoy is initially activated or attacked. Right, so how I should have done this was activate the convoy and then provide the naval escort when I first left Tripoli. In addition, if it is escorting a convoy's naval rebase, right, this is what we're doing, or naval transport, the warship must be able to end its movement in the same hex as the convoy. Unlike an escorting air unit, an escorting warship moves along with the convoy. Right, why would that not be able to do that? If there was a convoy, or if there was a warship already in the hex, maybe. I'm assuming. Well, right now, if this was to, if we were to be interdicted, well, which we have been, we've been stopped, and I had to go to a port, we can still end up in these, can't we? Right, let's read on. The escort provided by the warship ends when the convoy's activation ends. When the provided escort ends, the warship's activation ends. When the warship's activation ends, if it did not fight combat, add 1 sortie to its total. If it did fight, no sorties are added to its total. Right. So if escort failed. Right, hang on. So we had attacker adds 1 sortie, defender adds sorties because we had a DR result. Step 2. If the combat was against a unit providing escort, see escort below. So we're down here. DR. Escort failed. Right, there's a wee note here. I think that's maybe what you should be reading. So escort failed. Intercepting unit may attack again if it has less than 6 sorties. And I think I was just about to say, why would it attack again? And I think this is going to be... No, this is about amphibious invasion. If the escort was part of an amphibious invasion, the phasing faction may cancel invasion and end activation of all units in the invasion force. If the phasing faction does this, the intercepting unit's activation also ends and it cannot attack again. I'm still stuck then. I felt like I want to go on an air naval combat against, well, naval combat against the convoy now, but naval unit activation ends. It and any naval escort are moved to nearest friendly port based on movement point costs and ignoring any remaining movement allowance. Right, hang on. Right, I think I need to read on more. So naval interception. Intercepting a phasing unit may result in the interdiction of its action, which is what's happened here. Prevents the completion of the action. Okay, so, right. Note that interception is automatic, but interdiction is not automatic. That's what we rolled the dice for, but it came up successfully that it was interdicted. It was a successful interdiction. A non-phasing warship unit can activate to intercept and attempt to interdict a phasing naval unit as it performs a naval rebase, which is the one that we're doing. Right. The interception must be within naval interception range. It's 2 sea zones away, so that was fine. To intercept, the non-phasing faction traces a naval movement path from the warship to where the interception is occurring. There's no physical movement in the warship's counter. It stays in its location. Its path cannot be intercepted. There's no interception of an interception. Understood. A non-phasing faction declares interception immediately after the phasing faction has moved or traced a path into a sea zone. Well, we've moved into that sea zone because that's what we're doing. And then you must give them the opportunity to intercept. Right. To resolve the interception, conduct air naval combat. The non-phasing unit and is the attacker. Final result, the air naval combat will determine if the interdiction was successful. When the combat is done, the non-phasing unit's activation ends. So then you've got prohibitions, range, I think we might need to be going on to the next page. Naval Interception Specials notes. Why am I struggling with this? I feel like we need to be fighting against a convoy. But maybe not. Well, it's a convoy that's been activated to make the move. The escort is just there. I mean, I just got to explain to you recently that no matter what you do the escort thing first, Grant. And then if you've got a convoy there, you then do that. And then if you were transporting a unit, it then might have an effect on the unit. If you had an air unit escorting as well, you get to decide which one you can. Both escorts can fight a battle. I just wish I was able to be reading this, but right, hang on, BGG, I think. Okay, I was looking at BGG and I eventually went back to Sal's comment on my video and regarding this whole escort. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to stretch my eyes across there. Escorted combat. Doesn't matter what it is related to, and he's got in brackets supply, rebase. And then let me just try and work it. What he says: first you fight against the naval escort if there's anyone, and then if that succeeds, you may fight against the convoy. So if we choose as the British not to fight against the convoy right now, then I guess it succeeds and it carries on. So I think we do need to make this roll against convoy. Yeah, so I'm going to go with that. I just feel like I wasn't really reading that in the rules, but I'm pretty sure it's there, and it's just my eyes are glazing over it. But this time, so we're fighting against the convoy this time. Now, if then this succeeds, then they're going to have to find a port that's closest to them. Yes, and their activation will end. Right, that's what we're going with. So this time it's the same fleet. So it's fleet with 2 sorties on it now. The med fleet. So it's +2 for UK naval. And he's got 2 sorties. So he's fighting with a 0. He's attacking with a 0. We are defending with, unfortunately, a -2 for the convoy. Oh, hang on. He's not. He's got 3 sorties on him. Oh dear. Oh, this is going to fail then. We don't even need to roll this, do we? So it's a -2 for being a convoy unit, and a -3 for the sorties. Yeah, we don't need. So they're on a 0 and we're on a -5. Again, we are the Italians apparently. Okay, so yeah, I don't think this is going to come to an end. So here we go. So it's a 6 to 4. So 6 for the British attack. 4 -5 was always going to be a 1, wasn't it? In fact, we didn't need to roll that dice. So that's a DD +3. Okay. DD +3, so I think that's kind of wiped out, I think. So DD, attacker adds 1 sortie, defender adds 3, right? And then just checking down here, the convoy was an airstrike, no. The convoy was due to both sides committing an air unit, no. The convoy was against a unit, sorry, I'm saying convoy. The combat was against a unit providing escort, and the escort, see escort below, no. If the combat was against a unit performing an amphibious invasion, bombing run, naval movement, or supply line trace, see introduction below. Well, my guess is it's naval movement that we look at there. So then sea interdiction below. And the interdiction was a DD. Interdiction successful. Based on what was interdicted, apply the result below. Now hang on, I didn't look at this before because I looked at escort, didn't I? Yeah. So I think that's right. So now we're looking at this. And then what we were trying to do was, well, we're trying to enable rebase, so I'm guessing it's still naval movement I'm looking at here. The naval unit's activation ends. It and any naval escort are moved to nearest friendly port. Well, that's what I thought, yeah. Based on movement point costs and ignoring any remaining movement allowance, sea transport below. Yeah, well, not transporting anything. Yeah, so this looks like it's been a horrible turn for the Italians. So he incurs in the combat 3 sorties. So he's wiped out now at 6. And the Med Fleet incurs a sortie, up to 3. And then, because this failed, he's then got to go to the nearest port. This is going to be terrible. So now he's across in Italy. Because the options, I can't go to Benghazi. I've got to go within this sea zone, if there's an option. And there is Brindisi and Taranto. And Benghazi, but Benghazi's got the convoy and... Oh dear. Right, so they go to Brindisi. Well, I can put the convoy in the port, I suppose. And then leave the fleet outside. Right, and then their activation ends, but they would incur a sortie unless they had been in combat. They both were in combat, so we don't add any more sorties. Now, they could now move from there and try it again, but they're going to have to move into Season 24, and the state that they're in... Well, actually, no, they can't, because he's got 6 on him now. So not only did they not get to where he wanted to go, he's ended back in Italy where he cannot help out with supply. Oh. That's kind of what I'm going to have to do here is, I think... Well, no, I can't. Because as soon as I move him out of there, I'm into Season 24, and then I can be intercepted in there. You know what I'm going to do now? I know, okay, this is starting to sound a bit crazy, but I'm going to try and now move this in here. I mean, Force H has got 2 sorties on it now, so it's going to help a little bit. But I need to empty this port so that at least when I need to get back across the water. Oh dear. Right, I'm at 58 minutes. I'm sort of going to have to take a break, but can you not finish this activation, Grant? Well, we're then going to have to look at supply. No, there's a bit more to do because, yeah. Okay, I'm just going to stop the video, sorry. At least I've done some stuff, some horrible stuff, by the looks. Yeah, I think mistake number 1 was moving that initial unit across into Benghazi when I should have went for Tobruk. I think, well, was there not? There would have been a unit in Tobruk, and that's why I would not have done that. So I must have went across the water to get the unit to bring it back to Benghazi. If I was going to do that, what I should have done was move the unit outside the fort, do that, move across, then transport across. Of course, Force H wasn't involved then. If you do that right at the first move, yeah, I can immediately see things I would do differently. Whether there'd be anything, any kind of great moves, probably not. You would probably sort of say, well, that's still kind of rubbish. But what I've ended up doing here is definitely worse, I think. Okay, so we're going to stop there. So we still are in the Axis operations. Well, as long as I know I'm there. Oh, hang on. Well, that guy's had an activation. So he's moved. So yeah, I should tilt him. So I don't start thinking he can do anything else. But all the other units could. Yeah, the problem, you're not going to be able to get this across the Grant, are you? Even if you empty this, because he's got 6 sorties. But I still think I'd like to try and move that to Tobruk, I think. Yeah, but again, you've got to get through the med fleet, and is it worth it all? Well, it adds sorties to them as well. Right, I'll leave it for now, and I'll come back to this a bit later. Okay, cheers.